Hey everybody, welcome to ZSR 2 and welcome to the Link's Awakening DX any percent no wrong run out of bounds tournament 2021. We made it to the first round of losers bracket and we have Materia Steele versus Pink Batman today. Wow, that was some mishaps on the names. Whatever, it's fine. We just want to see the game anyway, so let's head over. Let's say hi to our sole commentator, to our lonely rider tonight, to Zinthro. Take it away.
Hello everybody, how's everyone doing? So we're going to be watching the first race in the losers bracket between Materia Steele and Pink Batman. They're going to be playing the any percent no wrong warp or out of bounds category, which means that, well, they basically are going to be beating the game as quickly as they can, but there are two caveats. They can't go out of bounds and they can't do a wrong warp. For those maybe familiar with the game, you know what the doghouse glitch, it's pretty famous. He's enter through the back of the doghouse at a certain, like, kind of clip into it and you press left or something like that, and you'll do a wrong warp. Yeah, exactly. So we can't do that though, because that just breaks the game. It just totally destroys the game. Like, you can, with that glitch alone, you can beat the game in under 5 minutes, and that's just not really watchable. So we have rules to kind of make the game a little more playable, and it actually makes it a bit easier too, because the doghouse movement is kind of tricky, and there's a lot of RNG at the boss with only like 3 hearts. So it's more fun to play, and it's more fun to watch. So we have some rules in place to, for those reasons. And out of bounds means that you can't go more than 3 pixels into a wall. And the reason 3 pixels is because we want to still allow wall clipping, and also that's the most you can go in if you enter the wall from the side. There's other tricks that you can do to get further into the wall, but we don't do those. Instead, we do tricks that make us go over a wall, and except to transition. We're not allowed to transition on a solid tile, but we can hop over them as long as we stay on. As long as we do it through like something called a super jump, stuff like that. You'll see. So we got the sword. Pink Batman already. Oh, both of them getting 1 rupee. We're going to be doing rupee duping. So when you get a rupee, you want to hold your sword or shield out, or both. You can, some people do both. And there's a chance, as long as you're on the right spot and you get a good subpixel, both of them getting phenomenal beach RNG. Both of them with 10 rupees right off the bat. They don't even need to farm the grass. That is, wow, I wish that happened to me more often. So they're gonna steal here. Oh yeah, the duping. So when the rupee lands on you and your shield at the same time, you will duplicate the rupee and you get 2 of them. That's the gist of it. So the stealing, that's an intended mechanic, it's not a glitch. However, this is. So Pink Batman and Materia are both interrupting the shopkeeper from taking the rupees by saving and quitting as they buy the bombs. So you get the bombs, and then your rupees are taken away. And if you save and quit, you stop the rupees from getting taken away. So you keep them, and it allows you to buy 2 sets of bombs and keep them for the trendy game. And then we steal the bow because the bow is overpowered. And now the trendy game, and you're going to see the Yoshi doll in the middle, and we don't get that. We completely skip this training sequence through 2 glitches that happen around the D3 area. But we do need to get the powder, and the powder is just because we need it for D2, otherwise we would skip it. Because we don't need it for Terran, because we're going to be doing a bomb trigger. And bomb triggers are probably... I guess it's kind of debatable, like which glitch is more broken, super jumps or bomb triggers. I'd say bomb triggers are probably the most broken, because it just allows you to do so many massive skips. So right here, both players are going to try and do a bomb trigger here, just to try. I guess Materia is going to skip that one. Pink Batman tried to do it. If you have a bomb placed on the same screen within 4 frames If you have 2 bombs placed in 4 frames, they both immediately explode, and they trigger any cutscene or any event that is on the screen. And so we use that to first trigger the Terran cutscene, just like this. So you need to get in a good spot, just like that. So he's in the right spot, and just like that. So Terran is now regular. He's not a raccoon anymore. We didn't even need to sprinkle the powder. It's much faster than sprinkling the powder because you skip text and stuff. Materia having some trouble with it. It's kind of precise when you're trying to do it quickly. Some people will just wing it and go right in, and if they fail, then they have to go back. Yeah. Are we gonna get any pit walks? Oh, yes, getting a try. Nah, damn. Yeah, it gives it 1 try and then moves on. I think that's a good way to go. Alright, and now for D1. To open that up, we just put the key in from the side because the game lets you do that. And this is the dungeon where we get the feather and also fight the hardest boss. Funny enough, the first dungeon boss is the hardest one for the speedrun. So I'm going to start explaining super jumps from here. The walls of these dungeons are all ledges, which means that if you're on the top of them, if you can get on top of them somehow, then you could actually just jump right off. And we use that to our advantage, that the fact that the game, that it's a ledge, to trick the game into making us think we're on the ledge by clipping into a wall and then pushing toward the wall while jumping, and then we do an input away from the wall, which usually requires a weapon, and that will trick the game to think you're on the ledge and will jump you off of it. But we need the feather to do that. So right here, they're gonna... Pink Batman's opting to wait. Both of them are opting to wait. You can do a shield bump and kind of get just a quick little push toward the chest. It's a bit precise though. So now both of them have the feather, and they're gonna do a few super jumps right off the bat to get the Nightmare Key. And yeah, super jumps are mainly used just to skip needing to get keys, stuff like that. In D7, we don't even get the Nightmare Key. They're just like that. So Pink Batman was clipped into the wall. And yeah, he just does a couple little inputs here and there, does a jump away or a movement away from it, and the game thinks he's on the ledge. So he needs to be careful. He's only got a quarter of a heart. This is why we want the bow, because of these mini bosses. They just take 2 hits. The game, you're not supposed to have the bow at this point, but you can get it. It's not an unintended mechanic that you have the bow at this point. It's just not expected that you would have it by now. Yeah, Moldarm is a pain. So yeah, even though Materia got to Moldarm last, she killed it first because Moldarm is random like that. And that's D1. Now I get to take a breath and take a drink of water. Like, most of the explaining in this run happens like before D1. No breathing, yeah, that's exactly right. Not in this game. We all wish we could skip this owl, but unfortunately there's only like 1 instance I think that we skip the owl, and that's after getting the angler key. And you'll see after D3 why that happens. Going to D2 is pretty straightforward. We need to get Bow Wow to even get into D2, and he's basically the sole reason why we want Bow Wow. Because, well, nobody wants Bow Wow. We need Bow Wow. So, skipping that heart piece, that's the heart piece of shame. If you get that, it's shameful. And here's the Moblin Cave. So you do a couple rooms with the Moblins in it, and then we fight the Moblin King. We get Bow Wow, and let's see how this goes. It is possible to actually kill all 4 moblins with 1 spin slash. If you get good RNG just like that, we got a quad from Pink Batman. Beautiful. That was awesome. It is so cool to see. So ideally you want to 2-cycle the Moblin King. That doesn't always happen, but both of them getting it. Alright, so they both got Bow Wow, and they need to make it back here. I should explain how save points work. When you enter a cave or a dungeon or something, you have a save point set. And there we have a flock clip. Flock clips are kind of weird, hard to explain. So save points, there's a few points. Oh man, wow, the RNG from Pink Batman is just not cooperating with them. Wow. Oh man, just transition down and go back up. Oh, yeah, okay, so this sometimes happens. So we want to set save points periodically and in certain places so that when we save and quit, we immediately go back, and it just allows for some faster traveling. There he goes. Wow, that was complete garbage RNG from Bow Wow. That is why we hate Bow Wow, because he just... Sometimes he's useful in a couple places, but for the most part, he's just the worst. Yeah. So D2 is not actually terribly unusual, except for the fact that we split it into 2. And that's because it's faster to do that. Because it just, you come back to it later with better equipment and other good stuff like that. The pathing's a bit better. But we need to come in and get the bracelet. And to do that, we need to get these ghosts, and Maddie just solid ghost skip right there, using the arrows to knock the ghost off the screen. You can also slash your sword, and that will make them teleport to the opposite end, and will somehow, for whatever reason, make them fly off the screen on the left side. However, the arrow method is a bit quicker because it saves an equip. Both of them doing the arrow strats, good for them. So we got the bracelet, and now we need to go to D2, or D3. And here's the other instance where we see the trading sequence item that we just don't get. I think yeah, we saw the Yoshi doll, we saw the honeycomb. This is the only trading sequence items that we see, and we never do anything about them because we skip the trading sequence. And here's the first, coming up on Maddie's screen is the first trading sequence skip that we call Villa Skip. It skips, yeah, everything. Trading sequence, Candlelit Castle, and ever need to interact with Richard, all that stuff. So this is a weird mechanic where when you are over a pit or water or something, you can pause as you are falling. And when you hear Link falling, you unpause and you just hold down and you'll transition down. It's not out of bounds. I forget why. But yeah, you'll just zip down to the bottom of the screen and you're into the villa, and just skips so much, like 10 minutes of the game. It's a massive skip. Yeah, and then getting out, you want to transition on the corner, like right between a tile, and that will allow you to kind of land. The game kind of thinks you're landing on the grass, and it doesn't like that, so it pushes you down. Same thing is why you zip down from after doing Villa Skip. Okay, so Maddie needs to be really, really careful here, because half a heart in D3 is kind of nightmarish. It's really easy to die. Actually, she's probably going to die just because it is often just unavoidable at the start. Oh, nice slash! Oh, wow, that slash though, that was epic. Unfortunately, it did not pay off. It's not a huge time loss though, it's a few seconds. but you do need to kill everything in this room in order to get a key. And D3 now is... I talked about saving and quitting and save points and stuff like that. We save and quit a lot just because it's just faster to move around while doing that. There's a category where you can't do that, but it's not the most popular anymore. But because we don't save and quit for a while going through D3, smart move going around there for Big Batman, you can get an item called the Piece of Power. It's basically the counterpart to the Acorn that we just saw on both screens. You don't want to get the Acorn because it just gives you a 50% damage reduction. There's a Piece of Power for Batman. Getting it early, which is really good. Oh, an Acorn for Materia Steele. And yeah, you need 30 kills to get the Piece of Power, and it gives you the 25% movement, more damage, which is useful against the boss of the dungeon. However, we still need to do Dodongo Skip, which is just this trick. So it's actually a super jump into this corner, and you charge a spin slash, just like that there from Materia, getting a clean Dodongo Skip there. So you do a spin slash, or set one up, and then you do a super jump away from the wall, and you release your spin slash during the jump. And that will allow you to clink off the Dodongo, there we go, and get over to the blocks. If you're not careful and you do it like, if you're too late or too early, I don't think you can do it too early. If you're too late, or your angle's wrong or something, you can actually soft lock by landing inside the block. Then you have to save and quit and go back out. Then to get the Nightmare Key, we just jump over this pit. There is a shield bump method where in the room with the Nightmare Key, you use your shield to bonk off the sulfos and go over the tile. There's another flock clip. Oh, Materia needs to remember not to press right while over the pit, or else you immediately lose all your speed. Oh, by the way, you have to do the Dodongo Skip twice, because that's, this game hates you. For anyone who hates Dodongo Skip, they really hate it. Yes, I believe Spice Father is the discoverer of Dodongo Skip. So Piece of Power is just so useful for this boss. Unfortunately, Materia lost it, so she needs to, I think, yeah, she switched to Feather because it's a better way of going about. Don't die! No! Damn, that is extremely unfortunate. Just one of the reasons why having Piece of Power all the way through the dungeon is so useful, because that boss is much, much faster with it. Because you basically do, like, almost double damage. So now Batman has a very good chance to maintain a lead here. However, he still needs to split the eye, which is kind of frame rule dependent. Sometimes you'll start slashing, you'll be on the wrong frame rule, which is alternating frames. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Nope. Gets it. Okay, playing it carefully there. That's smart. Yeah, D3 is probably my least favorite dungeon, just because of the double Dodongo Skip, and there's just so many fine little things that are really easy to lose time on. Nice stuff. Another close fight there. Probably a lot of nerves getting to her now. So now we're done D3, we're gonna go and do the other trading sequence skip called Walrus Skip. Normally, you need to get the pineapple to the bear in Animal Village, and that will trigger Marin going onto the beach. However, we can do a bomb trigger to get the walrus out of the way, because bomb triggers are just so good. However, we also, doing this, we become sort of soft locked. We are able to move, but we can't use any other buttons. This is because we have Bow Wow and not Marin, and the game's looking for Marin to leave before the cutscene ends. And something else about Bow Wow, I think, makes it so that you can, if you're not careful with your inputs, you can actually still soft lock here and just not be able to move at all. So that's why both players are going to try and take some damage off of the buzz blobs, like on the screen that Materia is on. And I guess she's just going to go on the cactus. So after you're with the walrus, yeah, the only way to get rid of this state that you're in is to enter a cave or die. And the reason dying is better, even though there's a cave really close to here, we want to keep our save point at the cave with 2 sharks in it. You go right through custom obstacles, and the one that Pink Batman just came out of there. You want to keep that save point, because after you get the angler key, you're going to save and quit back to that cave, because you need to go to the Armos maze, which is just over to the right from it. And just like that. Oh, okay, well that's weird. Alright, so why did she go back to D3? I'm not exactly sure what causes that to happen. Maybe somebody in chat could explain it. So I figured she would be able to try it again, it would work. Alright, so yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why she didn't go back to the cave, so why she saved and quit. So the Arbos maze here is kind of treacherous. Each Arbos does 2 hearts of damage, and then you have to fight a boss, a mini boss, that is kind of tricky and is easy to die on if you're not careful. Yeah, and then you have to go through D6 with like 1 heart. Okay. Alright, Pink Batman taking a death on it. Not a huge deal, it's pretty easy to get back, just go straight up. Alright, getting the boot strats there, so that's good. You want to get stunned while you're dashing, and that will freeze you in place with your sword out, and then you easily kill it. It's super easy then. But the hard part is kind of setting that up while still killing it quickly. And then you have to get back through the arrows. And all throughout this is the other place where Bow Wow is actually useful, because he eats Armos, just like nothing, like he'll eat tons of them. And you need a few kills at least in order to keep your arrow count high enough, or else you risk having not enough arrows by the end of the game. You need 16 to fight the final boss. Yeah, and just the part going to D6 is just so treacherous. There's so many places where you can die. Well, that's okay. So now Pink Batman needs to do Jesus jumps. So it's just like Villa Skip, where you're gonna pause as you hit the water, and then as you unpause, you hold jump, and you'll just jump off the water. It's like 1 frame you get to do it. It is impossible to do it unbuffered, as far as I know. And you're supposed to be kind of in between a tile, and you'll actually zip down into that middle island. But unfortunately, he did not get that. So he has to go all the way around with a bunch of juice jumps. And if he falls, at any time it goes into the water, he will have to restart that entire time. And there we go, clean. Playing it very carefully because it's just takes so long to go back through. Materia is back at Walrus. Hopefully she gets it this time. And Bow Wow's gonna eat this cutscene and give a heart because Bow Wow does weird things. There we go. Materia getting the Walrus out of the way. Now she's she needs to die, run into a cactus a bunch of times, and then go get the angler key. Now the first bit of D6 is kind of straightforward. Yeah, make sure, I don't know why that didn't die. Yeah, bomb hitboxes are kind of straight. Getting a Goomba heart. If you jump on a Goomba, you get a heart. You may also wonder why are there Goombas in this game. Some Nintendo just does that. It's a strange game. You can say it's a dream if you want, because it is. There's also a Kirby in D7. So there's actually like no Landmullas or anything in that pit. You just get a key if you sacrifice a couple arrows. Landmullas don't exist in this universe. It was all a lie. A lie from A Link to the Past. So, we are in D6 now. We have the level 2 bracelet, and this is actually the reason we even go to D6 before D4. It's for that bracelet. Because when you get that bracelet, the ghost that spawns after you finish D4 doesn't spawn anymore. That is actually the flag that stops the ghost from spawning. And now there's a few super jumps around the Nightmare Key area of D6 that just breaks this dungeon. You skip so much of it. At this point, Pink Batman's now actually going through the dungeon backwards. And now there's a shack jump he's going to be doing. He can do a flock clip, but shack jumps also are something you can do against an interactable object, where it's like you kind of move into the object at an angle, and then you just do a movement away from the wall, and you do a super jump. And there's the other super jump that's kind of precise. And yeah, now to go through the dungeon backwards and go finish it. But before we do that, yeah, it's called the shack jump. I don't really know why. First we gotta do skill heads, aka horse heads, which is the actual name. Each head has a 50% chance of landing upright, and that means 25% chance for each set of throws to actually get them both to land upright. But it sure feels like it's a lot less than that. Alright, so Maddie needs to be really careful not to take a single hit here, because if she does, she goes back to the Armos night room. The little other shrine. Okay, so she got some lucky hearts. And now Batman is about to fight Facade by placing 3 bombs before his face even appears. Because his hitbox is there. He just... yeah. Yeah, horse heads are actually, like, good in the remake. They make sense. It's not just you throw them and you hope for the best. Because, man, that was just... I think you might have as well, Batman. But you got it. Don't forget in D7. Unless you, if you're doing that one. That's D6. So you're probably seeing like all these really easy dungeon bosses that are so much easier than Moldar. That's because they are. So after D6, we need to do a series of Jesus jumps because we still don't have the flipper. And yeah, this is still all faster than triggering the ghost from D4. But these Jesus jumps are pain because it's really easy to do them slowly, and it's really, really, really hard to do them quickly, and you save so much time if you do it quickly. So it's kind of a crucial point in a run. A lot of top players may reset if they do them so poorly enough. It's actually possible to get to this corner without only 2 Jesus jumps, but it's pretty tricky. There are some setups that make it a bit easier. You also want to be careful not to get into the bottom tile, the tile below the water, or else you can... oh, I'm not sure how the bomb did not hit that Wizrobe. Easy backup though, just shoot a bomb arrow into it. Because, yeah, every time you land on the water and you press start, you actually move down a pixel, and you can get clipped into the wall. And that's enough to actually... far enough to be on solid ground. Now, it's not a huge deal if you end up landing on solid ground, but you can't transition on the solid ground. You just need to kind of go back into the water, and then kind of start over again. You'll be good. If you transition on a solid tile, then you are out of bounds. And there are a couple ways of getting around this area. The fastest... yeah, that's a strange route. The fastest is actually just to go through the forest with all the birds. If anybody knows that area of the game, I'm not sure what it's actually called. Wow! First try skill heads! And another shack jump. Alright, so Batman just went to this cave and then left, and that's just to set the save point. We're happy to be going by it, and we need to go open D4 before we enter it, or else you'll get there and be like, oh, whoops. It's raw skill. There's nothing but skill. So we open D4, and he's just gonna save and quit back to that cave, and onward to obstacle skip, which is the best skip in the entire game. It saves a quarter of a second, and if you get it, you should be harshly ashamed of yourself. Or if you don't get it, I should say. And that's my position on it. Yeah, if you're right at the very top of that tile, I think he's... ah, come on! Come on! You can do it. Yeah, if you're high enough on that tile, you can actually just jump over the obstacle. D4 is the fastest dungeon in the run. Just under 2 minutes if you play it right. We have to get that bomb pickup or else we're gonna run out of bombs. We use so many bombs just because of bomb triggers. And also, D5 uses a crap ton of them. Now, that pit, we're not going to actually go up that screen from the bottom. We're going to go up from it from the right. You can do a Jesus jump to kind of clip into that block and then push this block out of the way. But you kind of have to get it on your first or second try, or else it loses time where we're just using a bomb arrow. Just like that, skips quite a bit of the dungeon. Several keys. And then this Jesus jump skips even more of the dungeon. Probably the biggest skip in. And yeah, the game constantly reminding us that those blocks are too heavy, even though we have the bracelet. It doesn't get rid of that message until you beat D2, which is the last dungeon we beat. We don't even look at... Well, I think we lift like 2 things after finishing D2. This pattern here is different every time. I think there's like 5 or something patterns that it can be. Now we have the flipper, so we don't need to do any more Jesus jumps. We can finally swim, and it is necessary in order to beat D4 and 5. Because there are 2 caves with water, and we can't do Jesus jumps in those caves. And for this this trick, I'm gonna do a super jump off this wall, and then we're gonna clink off this pea hat, just like the Dongo skip. You're gonna use your sword to clink off something, and then change your the direction you're moving. And another jump that skips a bunch of the dungeon. Those jumps are not glitches; they're just oversights. So this is the easiest boss. You do a spin slash and 2 bomb arrows, and then it dies. Although sometimes if you're too quick, you'll just place a bomb and not a bomb arrow. Was it really? I didn't notice. Oh, the one just before the boss? Because the one after getting the first key, that's really hard to do without boots. Oh, what? How on earth did she fall? Well, you know what? She skipped the obstacle, even though she fell. It doesn't matter, she still skipped the obstacle, so I'm proud of her. Now that D4 is done, we go to D5. From here on, everything is in order, except, of course, we don't have to do D6 after D5. Going to D5 is the most straightforward part of the game. There are no glitches, it's raw movement. It's also a very short split, only about a minute. And it's also quite handy to have the flipper here, because you would otherwise have to do a bunch of Jesus jumps to get into the dungeon, which I don't even know if that's considered out of bounds, how you get into the dungeon this way. If you're jumping while swimming up against the roof like that, you'll actually swim just a bit faster, so you want to be spamming your feather while up against the roof. The D5 is the longest dungeon, so we follow the Swords dungeon with the longest one. And the only reason really that it's the longest one is because we have to fight all the Master Stalfos. There's no way to skip them, except if you have the boomerang. But the problem is that the boomerang requires the lens, which requires doing some of the trading sequence, and also even going all the way over to get the boomerang, and it's just way longer to do that than to fight all the Master Stalfos. Master Stalfos don't take that long. But we do need to get this key first in order to even progress through the dungeon. Now, there's 2 ways of killing Master Stalfos, depending on which one you're fighting. If you... this first method, you shoot 4 bomb arrows into it, and you only need 3 to actually get rid of it, but if you do 4 of them, you overkill the boss, and you get a key from it. Because the game just assumes that there's a key when you kill it 4 times, when you hit it 4 times. The 4th one actually is... it replaces the key with the hook shot, basically. And that's actually how you can skip it. Like, there's a trick in the 100% category called early hook shot, where you pull a key with the hook shot into the room where you get the hook shot, and it converts the key into the hook shot. That's the other way of killing it. Just throw a bomb, spin slash, and into another bomb, and then into that bomb. and then the bomb will knock you, the boss toward you, where you place yet another bomb. You just need 2 to get it in. It's a bit faster than doing some bomb arrows. However, if you need to kill it, if you need to do more than 2 hits, then it's faster to just do bomb arrows. Just because, like, the time it takes to do different equips. Speaking of equips, generally, as you start getting better at the game, you want to start developing a menu route, or route depending on how your pronunciation. And this is important because you could save several minutes by knowing exactly which inputs you're going to do on a given menu. It's something you can practice. Some people just kind of wing it and they're really good at that. Others, like myself, I like to have like it actually physically written out, and I can just read through it or refresh my memory throughout a run. Sometimes it's just not something. I mean, you will eventually memorize it, but it's always good to have that refresher. And we also just saw the dumb jump from Batman. That's how you get the nightmare key without the hookshot. There's a way, something about the bridge. There's a way of jumping over that many tiles with a dash jump. And 4 hits later, Batman has the hookshot. And the only reason we get the hookshot is to kill the D5 boss. That's it. Like, you can actually do everything else in the game without it. There are several jumps where it's handy to have the hookshot, but it is possible to do them without. I mean, technically, I think you could do that jump just like the one getting the nightmare key. But there's another path you can take that doesn't involve doing that. Most of the jumps can just be done with boots and feather. Good timing, good movement. Now for Slimy Eel. Slimy Eel is, well, he's a boss. I think he's kind of boring and annoying. He's long as well. There's not really any way of making it faster. There's also some RNG to it. Like, he has 4 walls that the head can come out of, and sometimes the tail gets in the way if you're not quick enough. Ideally, you can get a 2-cycle by getting 4 or 5 hits. Yes, you'll see the tail kind of really got in the way of that one. That's the worst one to pop out. These ones, they're fine. And there we go. So, it wasn't a terrible fight. The hits, the times that he did get the head out, he got 4 hits on it, so it's still solid. After, I think, a couple, after the boss is down a certain amount of health, there's a chance that a decoy can come out, which actually ends up blowing up after a while. And I believe that is a gold split for Pink Batman, so that is his fastest D5. Now Materia is coming up on the dumb jump. It is possible to use those bloopers. Oh yeah, it's another Mario character. Bloopers to give you a damage boost down into the water further, but it's a bit tricky. And now is coming up soon. Coming up soon, if I can speak English today, is Rooster Skip. Rooster Skip is arguably the hardest trick in the game. And there was another trick I think that some people consider harder in this category. Might be the Jesus jumps. Because, yeah, those Jesus jumps can be a real pain. But Rooster Skip is, well, skipping the rooster. You're supposed to get the Frog Song of Soul and then wake up the rooster in Mabe Village, but we don't even get the ocarina in this category because we have bomb triggers. And we also don't even look at the rooster, and the reason for that is because we have a hookshot and a feather and a large pit. And basically, when the hookshot fully retracts onto you, or is retracting onto you, you have 1 frame right as it retracts fully. Like 1 frame before it retracts fully, you can actually jump. It's really weird. It's the only frame, but you have a frame where you can jump over a pit with the hookshot out. And it's a 60th of a second, and you have to do it twice. It's extremely difficult to do it without buffers, but there is a method you could do with buffers. Did Batman just get obstacle skip there? I wasn't watching. I was looking at Materia's screen. If you did, good for him. So there is a buffered method where you open your save and quit menu until the hookshot is, like the side of the hookshot is touching Link's nose. And at that point, you open your map menu, and that'll advance the game 4 screens, exactly 4 frames, and that gets you on the exact frame that you need to jump, and then you just press jump, and you'll get it. So there you go. So he's 1 more. Ooh, that might be too far. Yeah, he thinks it's a bit too far. I think that might be good. No. Oh, he just gets it, but falls anyway because he landed in the middle of the pit. That could happen. That's one of the more annoying things, is sometimes you can still do it right and just go a little bit too far. This is why you kind of have to be careful with like where you even start doing your jump. Another thing is, this is why people really hate. Wow, that was unfortunate. Another reason why Bow Wow sucks is because he gets in your way of their hookshot. And he gets in the way, and that means that you can't do it easily. It makes the trick so much harder. In some cases, you can actually use it to make your hookshot get more attempts in, but each time you fail the jump, you go slightly closer to the pit. And once you're in the middle of the pit, then it doesn't really matter how many times you spam your hookshot, you're gonna fall anyway. So sometimes you're just forced to fall because Bow Wow gets in the way. There it goes. Okay, so he gets that. And he also saved and quit at the beginning of the cave, and that's not just so that he can get an easy recovery or a shorter recovery if he falls. It's actually because of the Evil Eagle fight D7, where if you enter certain tiles of the screen of the game, or certain screens of the game, in this case, it's the warped screen near Mabe Village, that warp that he took after D5. After that, or no, he didn't take it after D5, he just went by it. If you enter that screen, the bottom bar on the Evil Eagle fight becomes solid, which means you can't like shoot your hookshot or something through it. But if you do a save and quit after going on those screens, that is no longer solid, and for whatever reason, you can shoot through the bottom of the screen and go over the top. And you'll see that in action very soon. I may end up explaining it a bit more because it was a bit early. Materia also getting a gold in D5. Batman being a bit too early. This is another place where Bow Wow can eat a cutscene. You have to be a little bit slower before touching the key block though. So now Materia coming on to D7. Or Rooster skip. That would be nice. So 1 more buffer. Okay, that's a good spot. So okay. That was weird. I wonder if the map buffer the map just didn't open. Just sometimes happens. Like maybe your select button is just broken or something. So we usually need a ball to beat D7, but we don't even really. We kind of just go by it Actually, we don't even go by. We don't even see it in this category. Instead, we use bomb triggers because these are cutscenes. So you just get 2 bombs within 4 frames of each other, and it triggers the bomb trigger. And there was a stack jump. And okay, so Bao thought Bao was gonna get in the way there. So she needs to open that there. Perfect spot, perfect spot. So open the map and jump. There you go. And yeah, a couple safety hook shots, just because you tend to move to the left a little bit each time you do a hook shot, and that allows you to get the platform if you're just a little bit too over the pit. Other times you might move backwards, which it happens, but if you spam long enough, you usually get back and recover. So all the bomb triggers are done for Batman. He never even looked at the ball. D7 is just so broken because of that. And now we've got probably my favorite trick in the game. Because the name is fun, it's called Goomba Surf. So you need to be 1 pixel clipped into this wall. Oh, okay, so he decided to actually go for this trick if the Goomba didn't cooperate. There's a 1 in 4 chance that the Goomba is going to move to the right, and you use that to do a naked super jump, meaning that you are already facing away from the wall and you don't have a weapon equipped, to jump onto the Goomba, and that bounce on the Goomba will actually get you onto the ledge, and then you can just go over the ledge. Not out of bounds, because you're not transitioning on it. Alright, so because he saved and quit in Rooster Skip Cave, you can just shoot the hook shot down, and the eagle is now being hit. Alright, so Materia here needs to actually do a super hop, which is just a late super jump. Normally you want to do a super jump at their maximum height, but if you slash your sword just a little bit later, you can do it at a lower height, and it's a little more precise in terms of your distance. You don't want to go too far. Whoops. I think we've all fallen in a pit in D7 before. Yeah, it just happens. You're smart knowing that you still need to kill the Zol in order to get the bomb triggers going. Something about item slots, I don't really fully understand it, but you'll need to kill certain enemies sometimes, and for bomb triggers to even work at all. Why? Just... Sure. Sure you have it, seriously. There's Marin Skip. If you're at the very bottom of the bridge, and you could just jump over those tiles, because there's only 3 tiles. You're supposed to hook shot across, but it's a super long cutscene. But if you're at the bottom, you just jump over, you can go right past her. Sorry, Marin, we don't actually care about you. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get to see Goomba Surf in action. Materia is also opting to do the P-Hat Clink. Just like in D4, you just clink off this P-Hat and it'll change your direction. And you may have also noticed that we don't get the mirror shield from D7. That's because you can clip into a wall and the flames actually boost you into the wall and out of it, because the game is weird like that. So that's flame skip. Yeah, let's switch the audio. I'm not the one who does that though. So yeah, here's another instance where you're supposed to have the Frog Song of Souls, but nope, bomb triggers. And then you just walk through the head, because the head doesn't have a hitbox until the neck is extended. And now we're in D8. D8 is, it's actually pretty fast compared to how it's normally done casually. It's one of the longer dungeons casually, just because it's a maze. But I don't think we use like one key in the entire dungeon. So if you have Hookshot on B and Feather on A, and you use both of them at the same time, you do a thing called Bookshot. I think it needs to be over 1 pixel. Yeah, there's a good spot. So you do a thing called Bookshot, which is a really fast hookshot, just like that. You get a little extra speed, and if you're angled, if you're in the proper position on the proper subpixels, you'll actually clip through that key block. And then Blano, who we cannot skip because it's out of bounds. Even though we go into a tile, solid tile in the middle of the screen, the one just to the left there, it's considered it's not considered a normally accessible tile, so those tiles are out of bounds. We kind of have our own arbitrary rules. It's what we decided. Alright, and Batman's gonna go for Lava Swim instead of... well, he might get the pickups still. So he just slashed while transitioning, and the game... something about subpixels again. Subpixels are strange. The game makes him swim in lava. So yeah, he decided to go for the pickups. It's actually faster to go for the pickups instead of lava swimming. By just going straight for them, but if you don't know the method, then yeah, it's not that much of a time loss if you don't. The thing about lava swimming is it's just like a Jesus jump, so you need to do the transition while you're on the lava. A few spin slashes and QL is dead. And then there's Roomba Surf. So this is the Roomba. I don't actually know exactly what it's called. Apparently it's a ball, but I don't know about you, but that's not a ball. You could also call it a 3D printer. And yeah, there's a few things, special things about that room. You can actually move while moving the Roomba. And so players kind of have their own patterns of how they move the Roomba around and how they move themselves around while moving the Roomba. It's a bit of a multitasking room. But there are ways to getting to the chest very easily and quickly without doing too much multitasking. You can even charge a dash, and then just immediately do 2 dash jumps while moving the Roomba. And now there's the other skill head. This one's actually kind of hard though to do it quickly. Plus he does 4 hearts of damage. You can do it in 1 cycle, like before he even falls in, but yeah. That is really hard to do consistently. Blano not cooperating with Materia here. Don't get hit! If she gets hit by that, she goes back to the beginning of the dungeon. That's D8. So now we just need to finish D2. Now we have all kinds of great stuff like the magic rod. Another gold. Wow, 3 golds, 3 dungeon golds in a row. It's lots of time save still. So this is still PB-able. Personal bestable. Fortunately, we don't actually need Bow Wow to enter, but sometimes he will just instantly eat the plant. But the magic rod can just destroy them. Because sometimes players might want to go back after dropping off Bow Wow. So we just take this path. It's a little bit faster than going back the other way from before. Now this room you need to kill the Pulse Voice, which is the rabbit thing, and then the bat, then the Stolfos, in that order. And if you screw it up once, then yeah. Then you have to restart the whole room again. And then there's a weird thing about 2D sections where you can do dash jumps and like bonk off of walls and over torches like that. You could do a space jump, like in Metroid. It's a very strange mechanic. Now, in this boss, casually you have to destroy the pot in the middle 3 times. However, wall clipping and facing left allows us to destroy in 1 throw. But we still need to get past this first phase first. So he just picks it up. And was he not clipped there? Why didn't that break? It looked like he was clipped to me. That was weird. Unfortunately, it's quite a time loss too, because you have to do the whole phase again. Making sure he's clipped there, that's better. I guess he was like 1 pixel too low or something. Yeah, and then a couple magic rod shots later and he's dead. Getting the other Wang boys. That's the stuff. And dead hot head from Materia Steele. Unfortunately, that was quite a bit of time lost in D2 for Pink Batman, so unless he has a ton of time save in the Nightmare fight, he's probably not going to PB. And judging by his PB time, it's looking like he had a pretty clean fight. And here I will stay silent because we're going to be listening to the national anthem. If you are able to stand, I suggest it. And there it is. It's gorgeous. Now the egg is open, and I guess you could say this is sort of a trading sequence skip, because if you don't look at the book in the library that you need the magnifying glass for, the pattern through the egg is always the same. It's left, left, up, right, up. Wow. I said that so well the other day. Left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up. And we're not done with bomb triggers, by the way. Oh, did you think we were? So there's a bomb trigger to actually skip so much text, and also there's no more music. Unfortunately, we do not get to hear the epic music in these runs because Aghanim sucks. So that was also the blob quick kill where like you are positioned on a proper subpixel and the boss just dies when it lands on your sword and you place a bomb. The bomb adjusts your subpixels further. I don't think either of them actually do the minip though, but that's the main reason you want to get rid of the music and several other things properly. Because if you're positioned properly on the screen, the boss will always give you 4 energy balls that you reflect. But if not, then after the first 2, it's a 50-50 chance whether or not you'll get something that you can reflect back to the boss. and it's almost always that you'll get like 5 of them. You either get 1 or you get like 100. There's no in between. But generally, if you know the manip, then you'll get 0. And this is the much easier version of Boulder. Even though it takes more hits, you can stun lock it with a carefully timed spin slash. And then you just dash into Ganon 6 times, and yeah, if you have the Ocarina, you could actually do something called Death Eye Skip, where you use the Ocarina on the same frame that a bat is released towards you. And then after you kill the Shadow Lanbola, I guess this is the only Lanbola that actually exists in this universe. After you kill this, the bat turns into Death Eye, but because it has an HP value of 0, it instantly dies and spawns the staircase. Death Eye is being very nice to Batman. Very frequent eye opening. And relatively clean fight so far. Oh, he's gonna meme! He's gonna meme! He's gonna meme! Oh! Yes! And there's a sound that I hope nobody clips. Epic. That was... okay, you know what? Batman, I'll tell you this in a second. We usually interview our players after. And another gold split. With the bomb trigger, you get to gold split. Wow. Incredible. It's a good run. So Materia did not get the block quick kill, so she just has to kill it with some powder. It is nice to have the powder as a backup in case that happens. Welcome! Good run. Oh man, dude, I was gonna say shame for missing that first obstacle skip, but you really made up for it with that bomb Death Eye kill. You made up for it, man.
Shoutouts to Madame Materia, Materia Steele.
Yep. See, she does that too.
I hope she does.
She better.
She's very close behind me. I saw her death in D3. Very unfortunate, but if she hadn't died, she might have actually won this race. I was very scared.
I was thinking that she started playing very consistently afterward. And she also soft locked on Walrus Skip and had to do D3 again.
Oh, that's why she went back. I missed that.
Yeah, so she had to fight the boss 3 times.
And she's still at Aghanim now. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, she just played really well after that. Like look at her times. Like, she's only lost like a minute since then.
Holy crap.
Like, it's very, very impressive playing. GG on your run. That was, man, you were making so much, saving so much time. Like, so many golds after D5.
That would have been a PB if it wasn't for Bow Wow.
Yep.
Bow Wow took 30 seconds to eat a dang flower outside of D2. I was so mad.
Yeah, what was that about, man? So when that happens, the best thing really is actually just to transition down and back up.
Oh, really?
Because sometimes it's actually like the act of transitioning onto the screen that makes Bow Wow eat the plant.
Jeez.
And sometimes slashing makes it do, like, there's certain things that you can do to kind of manipulate Bow Wow. If he's just not eating the plant, it's sometimes, yeah, it's just better just to transition down and back up and they'll immediately eat it.
He didn't want to eat the E7 cutscene either.
Yeah.
That one... sorry, go ahead.
That one I know didn't work because you went into it a bit too soon. You kind of have to wait till the rock fully breaks.
Oh, that's the trigger. I thought it was his spaghetti arms changing. I thought that was the trigger for it.
Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. As far as I know, my understanding is that you need to like wait a split second after breaking the rock.
Oh my goodness, my heart's beating a mile a minute right now. Like that was exciting. Man, anyway, he tried to get in the way of the rooster skip as well. And he didn't end up getting in my way, but he definitely psyched me out a bit.
Yeah, I was looking at it a few times. I was like, "How? Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Do it!" All right, moment of truth.
Yes, we're gonna get some memes.
Did you do it? Oh, I
Bomb arrow. Bomb arrow.
Bomb arrow.
That's because, and she's doing a bomb arrow because last time she was going to do a bomb arrow, but accidentally placed a bomb and ended up getting the bomb kill instead. But a bomb arrow is just fun to look at too.
It is fun to watch.
GG. Both of you sub 110, so that's good.
I'm glad for that.
All right, we'll probably be joined by Materia in just a minute here.
Yep, looks like she's already in the waiting room.
Hello.
Hey.
GG.
GG.
I'm so mad at that D3.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate.
The
And
D3
then Walrus skipped just like...
I did nothing but practice Walrus Skip today, and still my controller screwed me, despite getting like 3 out of 4 of it in practice all morning.
Oh, man.
So, like, you saw it the first time I almost made it, and like I shifted down, and I'm like, no, I'm not pressing that. Stop doing this to me, controller.
That's so strange. I wonder why it does that. I know my controller tends to give me accidental diagonals a lot without realizing, unless I'm like really being intentional with my directions.
Yeah, from what I understand of this controller, it's just really sensitive, but it's only ever on the right input, so I'm also considering the idea that maybe something's wrong with the controller at this point.
That might be the case.
Just because, like, I even noticed
like,
it when I was still in D3, like, trying to just do the super jump to the right over the statues, and just, like, it's not happening. I'm just like, stop pressing down. I'm not holding that button. Ugh.
Anyway, that was a really fun race to watch. It was actually quite back and forth at a few points.
Yeah, I was catching so much time back up after that D3 fail, and I'm just like, he's going to make it barely before me, and I was like, getting the tech skip on Nightmare just as the finish, and just like, oh, well, there it goes.
I can't believe how good both of our... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You were really catching up though, Materia, because you're playing quite consistently after the Walrus skip incident.
Yeah,
and
I did briefly forget how to do Rooster Skip. I'm just like, oh, I'm falling in the hole now. Oh yeah, I didn't press select.
Okay, that's why I was trying to figure out. I was like, wait a second, why did you just fall?
Yeah, I briefly forgot how to Rooster Skip in the stress.
Okay, that explains it.
Yeah, that was on me, and I was like, oh yeah, select.
Yep.
But after the Walrus incident and having to do D3 for a third time, I was just like, ugh.
Well, props to you for keep going, because I know players would have just given up at that point.
I definitely contemplated it, but I was like, no, I've got to see this through.
I would have been angry if you would have reset, or if you would have just forfeited.
Yeah, I mean, especially with
accepted that.
What did I get? Like 6 minutes worth of failure there? Something closer to 9? Like, it was a lot of loss.
If you were 9 minutes behind and you ended 4 minutes behind, like that would have been.
I was 6 minutes behind my PB at that moment of finally getting into D6, and then recovered 2 minutes of it immediately.
It's very cool. I can't believe how good our RNG was in the beginning as well.
My RNG was beautiful.
What was that? Both of you getting 10 rupees on the beach. I have never seen both players in a race get 10 rupees on the beach.
I got 11.
Yeah, you got even more.
I was so excited. I was so excited. I was like, yes, 10 rupees. I'm going to take a lead. I look over at the stream and it's like, oh no!
I wasn't even watching the stream the entire time, so I had no idea how well you were doing. I was just playing it by ear, like, I'm 6 minutes behind. Let's keep going. I was on PB pace, though, leaving D3 for the first time, and then the Walrus. It was just like, ugh. Or entering D3.
Yeah,
the
going into
was another big part of my run that just kind of screwed me a lot. I think that was my biggest time loss.
I got so mad at the acorn because, again, just an acorn falls on me as I'm trying to walk, and I'm just like, stop this every time. Granted, I did deliberately die in the beginning of D3 just because I had half a heart, and I'm like, I'm not going to try for the piece of power with this. I'm just going to kill everything.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I did have a deliberate death somewhere. I can't remember where. I entered somewhere with like one.
You mean
heart
aside
out.
from after Walrus Skip?
Yeah, after Walrus Skip, the run was fine. I appear to have lost a bunch on D8.
Yeah, at D8 and up to the Nightmare, it was where some time loss started happening.
Yeah.
A little bit in D7 as well, but
yeah, like because I walked into a
more
hole. Because again,
well-researched.
like weird inputs. I had my A and B buttons dropping a few times too. It was just like, I'm pressing this button, please. Ugh, I don't know. Could be the USB cable starting to go too. Yeah, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Good game to you, Batman. We were like you were the closest one to me in the entirety. So this was the race I was looking forward to, and I didn't lose by that much. So
Same.
I'm happy.
I was very excited about this race because I knew it was going to be close at the very least.
Yeah.
yeah, you two are like some of the closer people in terms of their PBs.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about the tournament anymore though, so I can grind out that sub one now without worry. My sum of best at this point is like 57.46, and I'm like, I can do way better than this.
Okay, I get that sub hour.
Again.
I can get that sub hour. I can push up a few more spots. It'll be great.
And the next thing you know, you'll be getting 55s.
Yeah.
I think
I like sub 1 hour.
a little bit.
Pick a different category.
I think I'm going
I'd like to see you guys try no stew.
No stew.
Those two, so we have to start going out of bounds.
I hate that category so much. It's just, but it is kind of fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and it's fun to just watch people struggle with it.
Look, I'm sure Alpha would love to have more runners and no stew.
Maybe the next one that I want to be on the leaderboards for is 100% no whoop. Just because I know the no whoop rules already, and I'm just like, I want to get all the stuff.
It's a good category. I like it a lot. It always to me feels like it's just complete. Like it's well done, well optimized. There's not that much backtracking.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot more backtrack.
I was going to say, I know Dragon's also been working on a low percent category, and I'm kind of interested in learning it.
Low percent. Well, how does that one work in this game?
That's
like as few items as possible, right?
Dragon says no. Yeah, it's like I don't even remember where all the items you end with are. It's like sword, feather, and like 3 other items, I think. You don't get bombs, you don't get shovel, you don't get powder. It took you 3.5 hours to complete. What?
Do you get Ocarina then? Because how else do you get into the egg? Oh no, I guess if it's any or
yeah, you'd probably be
specific,
allowed to use like you'd have to get like basically the minimum required items to beat the game.
Yeah,
It's an
something to beat Deathel with, or else the Ocarina to skip it.
It's
so you just go into the doghouse.
Yeah.
There are categories, like there's one category I made called 100% no wrong warp. If you guys are ever interested in the 100% category that's not no whoop. It's a bit harder though, because you can go out of bounds.
A little bit of out of bounds never hurt anybody.
Exactly.
Oh, never.
Never hurt Link. Link was like, he's somehow fine going through all those walls.
I forgot that Blano fight. I blocked it out of my memory once it was done. It was like, oh yeah, he's swinging at me. He wanted that knockout punch.
Yeah, he did it. Like, she tried to get you 3 times in a row too. I was like,
I'm just like, no,
Blano, just cooperate.
I really can't. Like, I was contemplating something. I'm like, if he finishes, I'm doing something stupid. But I was already in the Deathel fight, so I at least bomb arrowed Deathel for the final hit to give myself a send off. A little bit of a meme.
I decided to do a shout out to you, and I killed him with a bomb.
Nice.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that makes up for the lack of obstacle skip.
Oh
I
my
got it
god!
the second time.
Yeah, my first
Okay, that's
obstacle
good.
skip too was just, again, the input going a weird direction. I'm just like, no, I'm not pressing that. Why am I in the hole?
At least got over the obstacle.
And then fell in the hole. And then I was like, well, fine.
Yeah.
Be that way.
Anyway, either we have any final thoughts at all about the run that we haven't mentioned?
Good luck going against probably, like, what is it, like the first or third place runners, Batman. I'm pretty sure you're going to join me next week in the,
Sure,
in the losers
sure.
spins.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know.
definitely
Batman could just start pulling out 53s out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
just cut
Right.
10 minutes off the time. It'll be fine.
It'll be fun. I got some ideas for what I want to do to try to, we'll say, improve upon my run.
Yeah, at this point, I'm pretty sure it's just controller issues, because, again, I did nothing but practice Walrus skip this morning to make sure I had it consistent, and still, I got random inputs. Ugh. So mad at that. I thought about saving too before I got to Walrus just in case, and I didn't do it like a dumbass.
It only loses 3 seconds to save and quit.
It does only lose 3 seconds, but again, practiced it all morning, was convinced that nothing would go wrong. Then my controller was like, nah, bro. He prayed to the RNG gods. We gotta give this to him.
Sometimes people will save and quit at the start of D5 in the 100% category, just in case they grab the key when we're doing early hookshot. So you're supposed to pull a key with the boomerang into the next room and it converts into a hookshot.
Yeah.
But if you grab the key, then you get that key and you can no longer use it, and you have to hard reset to get it back, which is like really far away.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will do a safety save. I would strongly recommend it when you're learning the category to do the safety save at the beginning of D5.
Oh,
at least until it's consistent.
Safety save in a million save states for the practice.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we are good.
Yes, you are. Alrighty. I will take over then. I will say so much. I will say thank you so much to Zentro for doing solo commentary. This seems to be the theme of the last few races. Having a bit of solo comps. But that's fine. Pink Batman, congratulations on taking the victory. And Materia, good luck on that sub 1 grind.
Yeah, I'm going for the sub 1. Give it a week, I'll have it.
Alright, that's a goal.
I want to sub 1 on my desk by tomorrow.
Oh, well, I mean, I do stream tomorrow, so it's a perfect opportunity.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. We're gonna be back. Right now, it seems like we're gonna be back on Thursday with the winner was bracket round 2 between Astronomus and Happy with Sugar. Today on ZSR, there's a little more stuff with the Z2R, the Wind Waker randomizer, A Link to the Past, cross keys, and all that shizzle. Maybe more Zelda 2 later. Not entirely sure yet. Depends on the volunteer situation. I hope you all enjoyed it. We're gonna go over to MMR. Thank you all for watching, and take care.